Jack to Golia. Another nice mess, the Laurel and Hardy story. The location was Hal Roach Studios in Hollywood, California. Stan Laurel, a delicately handsome, auburn-haired Englishman, was pleased with himself. He had just completed a screenplay based on a theater sketch his father wrote back in 1905 called Home from the Honeymoon. The scenario was about two hobos on the lam who take refuge in a vacant mansion. When a well-to-do couple drops by, the tramps masquerade as the owner and the maid. Yes, one of the men dresses as a woman. Their charade backfires when the real owner returns unexpectedly. As a professional comedian, Mr. Laurel cast himself as one of the bums. His character was a good-natured dimwit who clumsily tried to carry out his partner's orders. The other hobo would be the domineering partner, acting as though he knew everything but just as inept. Who would play this role? Obsessed. Anne stared at Joe's face, wondering where the man she loved had gone. Nothing was left. His eyes were reddened, wild. His skin was pasty, and his lips stood out, too red, in the dim light. Dark stubble covered his face. "Please, babe," she said to him for at least the fourth or fifth time. "I love you. You gotta understand that. Come with me now, and we'll get everything back together." Joe lowered his head and began to tremble. He was weeping. Anne thought she was beginning to break through, make contact. "Lies! Lies!" he shrieked, and his head came up suddenly, grinning and devoid of tears. The X-Acto knife glinted in the moonlight. Anne was shocked that it didn't hurt as it sliced across her throat. White jade. My God! It was Hanson, the National Security Advisor. "Mr. President," General Holden spoke from the end of the table, "I recommend we go to DEFCON 3. We don't know who's behind this. This may be a setup for a larger attack." "Mr. President, may I interrupt?" It was Lodge. "Before we take further action, I believe we should hear from Director Harker." Here it comes, Harker thought. Lodge was anticipating political fallout and diverting thoughts of an intelligence blunder away from CIA and over to her. "Director?" Everyone looked at her. She forced herself to keep her hands resting quietly on the table before her. A memory surfaced of her father, sitting in his big wingback chair in the den. "Never let them see what you're really thinking." Her father reached for a glass of bourbon on the side table by his big green chair.